Hello guys and welcome. My name is KhoPhi. Thanks for joining me once again in this episode. And today I have with me a very special guest here in Koforidua. He's, I think, the Koforidua photography champion. And so I want to have a conversation with him and then get to understand how he started, his background, his journey all the way into becoming a photographer and, share his experience with us. Okay, welcome back. So here with me is, we call him Bkay, but I'll let him do the introduction himself. Thanks for joining me today. Ala Starboy.
Yeah. You like saying this Starboy thing?
Yes, because you're a Starboy, or you are. Anyway, so tell us a bit about yourself, your name, your background, your schooling, because we're going to dive into your journey into photography.
Okay.
How you're able to get all the clients here in Koforidua and
Really? All the clients here in Koforidua.
yeah. So anyway, what's your name?
All right. So I'm called Osman Issa, and my brand name is Bkay. I'm the lead creative from Bkay Photos or Bkay Studios. Now
Okay.
our studios is open. So, and yeah, I'm from a computer background. I attended Koforidua Technical University. I did computer science and networking.
Okay.
But I found myself to be in photography and this
Okay.
creative space, and I'm loving it. So
We definitely know you are loving it
Yeah, I'm
because,
loving
but then stepping back a bit,
Yeah.
you were born in Koforidua here.
yes, I was born in Koforidua here.
And that means you are primarily like
Yeah, Koforidua is
bred and raised
yes,
in Koforidua.
Koforidua is here is where I went for my tertiary, my university.
And you did your primary and
I
your
did
high
my
school
primary and high school in Eastern Region, but not in Koforidua.
in Koforidua. Okay.
I did my high school in Bkay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've spent most of my
And what
life
did you
here in
what
Eastern
did you
Region.
study at Bkay?
I did business.
Okay.
Yes, I did business in Bkay.
I think I didn't know that. You did business.
Yeah, I did
see.
business. I did business in
And
Bkay.
would you consider yourself like you were a good student?
Back in school, I was an average student. I was not. I am the student who will not fail, but who will not also top the class.
Okay, so you made sure say you existed,
Yes.
but they're not.
Yes, and it's probably because I didn't pay much attention to what I was learning back in school.
Okay.
I have my passion was into visuals and
The creative
the
side of
creative
things.
side. Yes,
Okay.
and I think that is the reason why. If I had much love for business, I would probably be at probably top 5 because
Okay.
I am somebody who I would consider myself to be a go-getter when it comes to achieving stuff. So
And then you also did your primary education here in
yes,
Koforidua.
yes,
as well.
in Koforidua,
Okay.
Gateko.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Koforidua is all you've known all your life.
Yes.
How do you think of the town?
Oh, Koforidua is nice.
compared to back in the day when you were growing up to now, what are some of the changes you've seen so far?
I think there has been a lot of changes, not infrastructure-wise, but the people.
Okay.
People have moved from different places to Koforidua here, and the place has expanded. It has expanded because now you meet people and then you've never seen them in your life. Of course, the place is big, so you should expect that. But what I'm trying to say is that it has enlarged. The place has now become bigger. Back then, we didn't have Troom, we didn't have Okrasi, Junction 1, 2. We didn't have all
the
that.
place is expanded.
Yes, it's expanding. It's really expanding at
which means more market for you to do your photography. We will get to the photography side very soon. Anyway, so you in tertiary you did in high school you did business.
Yes, I did business.
But then in tertiary did you continue with the business or
no? I did computer science and networking
in tertiary.
In tertiary.
And why the change?
As because I also have love for computer stuffs.
Okay.
I am somebody who want to know what is working in that machine.
Okay.
That is making a lot of money for a lot of people. So, but it wasn't about the money initially. I was really into the idea that you can actually create something and the whole world will see with the help of the internet.
Yeah.
And that was amazing to me. So I sat behind the machine and I was known a lot in a lot of places.
Yeah.
But the people that I woke up in the same building with didn't know me. That is funny, right? Yes,
Yeah.
but that is the power of the internet, and I fell in love with that, and I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to make an impact with the internet, and,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that finally we are doing what we can.
And you are doing great,
Thank
actually.
you.
So in tertiary, when you were in tertiary, you're doing computer science.
Yeah.
You did business in high school.
Yeah.
Did computer science in tertiary.
Yes.
But now you are the top photographer here in Koforidua. So walk us through the entire journey
Yeah.
and how the whole process came about, because that's such a jump in different
Yes.
professions.
Yes.
From business to computer science to
Yes.
photography.
All right. So with the business, whilst I was in JHS, getting to move to high school,
Yeah.
I had a teacher who I admire a lot, and he mentioned that he did business in school. And looking at him at that point, I felt like this is somebody I want my life. This is somebody that I want to take a couple of things to help model my life.
Okay.
So he doing business, or he going through business in high school. I felt like I could do that because I didn't have, my mom and dad were not people who have been in high school.
Yeah.
So I needed somebody to help mentor me, and I could have gone to him, but when he said that in class, whilst I was choosing the school and the courses I would do, I was like, let me take this man's approach or path, and let me see what happens.
And did you enjoy doing the business?
That is what I'm saying. It was not my passion.
Okay.
So I struggled a little bit.
Okay.
Because with people that are into art, you find it difficult to work with figures.
Yes.
When you are into art, it's difficult for you to,
yes.
really difficult. And I struggled a little bit, but it came out, and now I'm using it. So I'm really glad for myself. I'm really glad that I did business in SHS, because now I know I even though I pay people to do my books for me, but I can know what is going on. I know what is debit. I know what is credit. I know what is asset. I know what is fixed asset. I know liability. I know all these things. And
so that background actually comes in handy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because one of the most important things for artists is for you to pay much attention to the business side of things.
Yes.
So it really helped me.
So in tertiary, you're doing computer science.
Yes.
At what point do you go like, I need to throw in photography? Okay. And where did the interest for photography come from?
All right. So as I mentioned earlier, I fell in love. I was already in love with the fact that you can do something and the whole world will get to see with the help of the internet. But with my visuals, with my visual passion, I was, let me say, I was into art.
Yeah.
Back in JHS, I was one of the few students who could really draw. And back then, teachers would call me to come and draw, sewing machines, lizards, and on the blackboard for JHS 1 to JHS 2 and JHS 3. I was in JHS 1, but I was drawing for JHS 3 classes.
Okay.
And that was how good I was. And everybody knew me to be good with art. Unfortunately, I didn't do that. I should have done that.
Yeah, so...
But I'm still glad that I did business.
You were studying business, but then doing visual-related artwork
stuffs.
for...
Yes, and even in SHS, I was doing assignments for my school fathers and friends because they were also into... my school father was actually offering visual art.
You have some of those artworks still available. We would like to show it on screen for anyone listening or watching.
Well, I don't have the ones I did in
high school
because they didn't allow us to use phones back then.
Okay, yes, makes sense.
Yes, but now I think I have the ones that I did out after high school.
Okay, yes. We will definitely like to show some of them on screen.
Yes.
Anyway.
Good. So that was where the transition happened.
Yeah.
I was into graphic designing. I did a couple of posters and flyers and for clients, and then I was like, let me start with digital painting.
Yes.
So into the digital painting, I realized that people send their family photographs to you for you to paint for them.
Yes.
And sometimes when they send it to you, the picture is pixelated. Like you cannot.
It's not the best.
It's not the best. Sometimes, but they
are happy about.
Yes, it's not now that we have AI that you can upscale things up.
Yes.
Back then we didn't know all these things, so we didn't have all these things. So when they send me the photographs, and I'll be like, bro, this your photograph is like
I can't even see
a
the
century
details.
old. I cannot see anything. And they will be like, this is my grandmom, so I want to,
Yeah.
and we don't have any photograph of them. And I'm like, okay, then maybe I should learn photography. So when I learned the photography and a client books me and he sends me a photograph of herself, then I cannot identify. I can just take my camera and then go to the person, take the photo,
picture yourself,
and then come and
have it to the quality you want.
and then come and paint it. So I took a year out of my career to study photography.
And that was whilst you were still in tertiary.
Yes,
Okay.
that was one.
So during your tertiary course,
yeah, I think that happened in first year.
That was way early in your...
Yes, because I was already into graphic design before getting into the tertiary space.
Okay.
Yes, so, and then I was like, let me get a camera and all that. And then it was difficult because...
What was your first camera?
Canon 600D T3.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Some of the OGs.
Yes. I still love that camera.
I don't know if you still have it around.
Oh, I gave it out to my student. One of my students.
Sure.
So yeah, I had to get a camera for myself, and it wasn't easy. It was difficult, but with a little help from family, and I got my first camera, and then and I also did a couple of classes on campus, graphic design, teaching them here and there. I even had lecturers and administrators learning graphic design from me, because most of them were also into YouTube and they wanted to learn these things, and then I taught them, and then I got paid, and then that also helped me to buy my first camera.
Okay, we're funding from those side gigs.
Yes, side gigs.
So
I had to.
So the pack thing has been happening for
a very long time, because I quite remember when I wanted my first camera, it was around 2,000 cedis.
Okay.
And by that time, I have not had 2,000 cedis for myself, even though I was working with the graphic design. The pay came up. The pay that I had for doing an artwork average was around 50 cedis. And you added
saving up to
2,000
it's a lot.
It's a lot. So, because I had to buy data and all that.
Yes.
So what happened was I told my dad, I told my mom, and my mom convinced my dad that even though I'm doing computer science, I also want to do photography. Yeah. It wasn't easy.
Shout outs to your mom for being there.
And my dad as well.
Well, yes, and your dad as well. But our moms have a way of convincing our dads. So if you go through your mom,
you don't have to even go through your dad.
Yes, it's the chances of it working is very high.
Yeah. So it worked for me, and then my dad was like, I gave you fees last week. Yeah. And now you are telling me you want a camera. So, and the camera you're asking for is really more than your fee, because I think at first year I was paying around 1,800. And my dad was like, okay, fine. Your mom has convinced me, but if I'm going to give you the money, then you have to come up with half of the fee.
Okay.
And I'm like, how am I going to get half of the fee? And I'm like, and he was like, since you are interested in...
that's up to you to figure that out.
Show me that you are actually interested
in doing that.
And I'm like, really? Okay,
that's actually a good strategy, in the sense that if you actually wanted to do it, you would find a way.
And the funny thing is, he even showed me the money. He asked me to he asked me to bring his bag. We had a bag, and then he counted the money. Look at it. This is 1,000 cedis.
Yes.
If you bring your 1,000 cedis, this 1,000 cedis is yours. It's here. And I'm like, okay.
Terms and conditions apply.
Take this So I sat down and I drew a plan.
Okay.
How to actually get to 1,000 cedis. I remember I had to, do I have to do graphic design? 50 cedis to 1,000 is going to take long. But if I need 1,000 cedis, then that means I need 100 cedis, 100 cedis, and that is 1,000.
And that should cover for...
Yes. So then that means that if I'm teaching people graphic design and I'm taking them 100 cedis, all I need is 10
people to attend, and you are sorted.
Yes. So around then, I think my savings was 150 cedis.
Okay.
Because
so you needed extra 850.
Yes. So what I did was I used the 150 cedis to go and print flyers. I designed a nice flyer.
Okay.
Because I was a graphic designer.
Yes.
And then I did a color printing. And then, I went to school, and then I pasted it everywhere on campus. And then I had a friend, Graham. He helped me do that.
Okay.
Yes. And when I got home, came the next day. We actually did this after class. So it was around 5 p.m.
Yeah.
When I came home, went the next day, we had 6 o'clock a.m. class. And when I went there, not even a single flyer on campus. And I was like, who took away my flyers? They've actually bring everything down. And they were like, I should have seen the stores. We have a department on campus. I didn't know that. So there goes my
All your
150.
50 cities investment, you know.
I nearly cried. But for some reason, people got to see them before they were
taken
because
down.
it was really attractive. And I
Okay.
also posted some of the flyers online. So
okay.
people called me, and I had about 12 people who were interested.
Show up.
Yes.
Okay.
Who were interested, but some came with a lot of stories. They were like, you know, I want to pay you 100 cedis now, but I don't have the money. And I'm
Okay.
like, no problem. I had this idea that when people see me teaching a lot of people, they will also
They
join.
would want to join, yeah.
So I did. I taught a little. Up to date, people call me and they are like, "Are you still teaching graphic design?" And I'm like, "No, I'm teaching photography now." So yeah,
okay.
I taught a lot of people. I taught a lot of people. I taught, but still the money was not up to 1,000. I think I got around 750. I don't remember the exact figure, but it was around 700 something. And one day I got a call, and the person was like, "Are you in KTU?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm in KTU. I saw your flyer," and you know, he was like, "I wanted a graphic designer and somebody recommended you." And I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like, "No graphic design again. I don't want to be doing graphic design. I want to be doing photography." And the person was like, "So meet me at the administration. I want to speak to you." And I'm like, "Administration? I've been a student, but I don't go to the administration." So I went there. And I met this man. He said he was the administrator there. And he want a flyer, a logo. So I did the logo for him. So he was like, I charged him around 30 cents back then. And and he was like, "You did this just with one day?" And I said, "Yes." And he was like, "You are really that good?" And I said, "Well, I started doing this for a long time." So
Yeah.
and he was like, "I want to learn this. Can you teach me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm teaching people." And I show him photographs on my phone. And he was like, "Oh, really? On campus?"
Earlier classes.
And he was like, "Where are you using it?" I was like, "I can't tell you that." Because when they realized that I'm
That's
using it,
coded on the highway.
I was like, "You are using our facilities." But I started doing that business in first year. And he was like, "Okay, all right. So I want to learn. How much will you charge me?" And I'm like, 2,000 cedis. And he was like, "Hey, hold your brakes."
Hold on.
Because I wanted
to use me to buy a camera.
He didn't know that.
He didn't know, of course, yes.
Yes, but I wanted to buy a camera.
That would have been a ticket to finalize everything with even profit.
You have to aim higher, bro.
Of course.
To aim higher. So, so he was like, "No, I'm not paying you anything more than 1,000 cedis."
Which was still a win.
Yeah. But he didn't know that.
He didn't know, of course.
And even with that, how long I explained to him that it's going to take 2 months for me to actually teach him and get him to actually, practice on his own.
Yes.
It's like, "Okay, fine, I'm going to give you 500 cedis for the first month."
Okay.
And then he gave me the money the next day for the first time. So
which added to your already existing 700. It means
so. Yes, but something happened. I needed to make payment for, I think, something. I think slides, pamphlet or something. So the money came to, I think, 600 cedis.
Okay.
But it was still, I went to my dad and I told him that this is the money. And then he was like, "You are really serious." But that was around like 2 months later.
Oh, okay.
2 months later.
After you had started with, let's say, that accepted the challenge that you would go ahead and...
That was like 2 months later. And then he gave me the money. He did. He gave me the money and then I added it to it. So it was around 2,100. And then I contacted some people to help me go and get a camera.
Okay.
And then a lot of disappointment, but still I hid the money under my carpet, waiting for that perfect time, waiting for that support from a friend or somebody to take me. And it was a promise and fail because I was afraid that I would take the money and then somebody would take it away from me.
And not get the right equipment.
Yes. So, long story short, I spoke with my uncle. My mom spoke with my uncle for me, and then he was not into photography. He was into electricals.
But then he has an idea of...
So we went, and then the guy was like, "The camera is now 2,200.
Okay.
2,200, bro.
Why am I gonna get a 200?
Yes, we use 200 cities for transportation.
Yes.
So
yes.
I'm even now having like 19,900
Yeah.
at Tudu, Accra. We roamed everywhere, bro. We roamed everywhere. We didn't get it. We didn't get. I was like 9,900 and 2,200. It's kind of close, you guys.
Just
Please
convert,
Yes.
add up, and then let's
But
wash our
nobody
hands.
was willing to help me.
Yeah.
So my uncle was like, "You let's go, and then find money, add it to it, and then come
Yeah.
back later." And then I told my uncle that when I get back home with this money, I'm not going to be a photographer. I know
Okay.
that for a fact. I can feel that with me that I have to get the camera today. So I called my brother, my kid brother,
Yeah.
my backbone, my immediate backbone. He was in school, College of Health back then.
Okay.
And I called him and I was like, "Look, I am in Tudu and I'm your big brother. I'm supposed to be sending you money, but I
Yeah.
need money from you. I don't know. I cannot call home also." So, and he was like, "Wait, how much do you need?" And I was like, "I need about 300 cedis." He was like, 300 cedis, because for a student back then was a lot of
that's
money.
a lot of money.
And I was like, "You wait, let me speak to a friend of mine or something." And then he did. He got me the 300 cedis.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, no, he didn't get me the 300 cedis. I think he got me 200 cedis.
Okay.
I was still short. And then I went to this last shop, and then the man was like, Bryce Siedu. His name is Bryce Siedu.
I think you've given me his contact before.
I've given him a lot of people. I've recommended him to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I got there, and he didn't know me first. And he was like, I told him that, "Bro, please help me. I need a camera. I need this particular camera. And if you don't give me the camera, I don't think I'm going to be a photographer." But the funny thing, we stood at the shop watching people come and buy 70 to 200. And people will come there like, "How much is this machine?" And they'll be like, 10,000. Give me this, give me that, and give me that. And we're like, "Whoa!"
People are making moves.
And I was just watching them. I was not envious,
Okay.
but I was amazed. Is there a lot of money in this business that you come and then you buy this expensive guy?
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I don't even need this camera to become a photographer.
Yes.
I just
the
want
bare
to be,
minimum.
be able to shoot people. But that actually changed my perspective of what I'm actually getting myself into. I realized that there was actually something going on.
There's a possibility.
Yes, of something that I don't know.
Yes.
So I spoke with a man, and the man was generous enough to let me let me have the camera. I was extremely happy. Yes, so I came back and realized that now that I've gotten the camera, I need to make sure that
you make use of it.
Yes, because a lot of sacrifice has
I've gone into it because
Yes.
your brother, the shop, and everyone has believed in you.
Yes,
so
exactly.
You need to pull your weight.
Exactly. And that is where I still get my drive from.
That's really an inspirational journey all the way coming into photography.
Yeah.
And this is a story I've never heard before. I think
I don't.
This is very interesting, and I think that explains the drive behind what you've been doing so far, because a lot of people have bet on you, and so any failure on your part is not just failing yourself, but then the people who also invested in you.
And what even inspired me more is they didn't want me to become a photographer. My dad wanted me to become a computer scientist and all that. But the fact that I wanted something, and then I'm his son, and he don't know he does not know anything in respect to photography. He's not into photography.
All of that.
Yes, and the respect we give to photographers is not much.
Of course.
And he does not want his son to become a photographer. He wants his son to become, you know how we look at things.
A scientist, a computer. Yes.
So, but he was like, "You let me give it to this guy
and see what happens."
Yes, because he's passionate about it. Let me just see.
Yeah.
And my brother didn't even ask me when I'm going to pay the money back or anything like that. He also believed in me. My mom believed in me. I think my mom spent his money. He was into clothing back then.
Okay.
So he gave me 300 cedis to go and buy a VGA card so that I can install Lightroom and Photoshop on. And 300 cedis. I think he was selling some of the clothes around 50 cedis. So or 25 cedis a yard.
That's
so imagine
huge amount to pull out.
Yes.
So you basically had your family supporting you.
Although
they
didn't know what I was heading towards. They were there to support me.
A big shout outs to the Osmanu family,
Issa family.
Issaka family, yes, for being there for their son and then supporting him, because I think that support drove you to that ambition where you are like, if every one of these people are willing to bet on my crazy idea,
then I can't fail.
Failure is not an option, because
I have to make sure
if
that
you fail, you are not just failing for yourself. You are failing a lot of people who also invested in you. And the financial support was, it's good, but then the kind of belief they had in whatever direction you were going was.
And I up to date.
And I think some people would love to have had this opportunity.
Yes, I know that what I had from my family and what I still have from my family. Up to date, my mom calls me and you'll be like, "Are you traveling?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, I have a gig this weekend." You'll be like, "Are your clothes ready? Are they ironed?" You understand?
That's fascinating.
Yes, because I'm not married. So my mom try. Yes, my mom try as much as possible.
Oh, but the marriage will happen soon.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Anyway,
I'm ready,
that was really an exciting background story, and I think I understand the drive behind you and how you are now successful here in Koforidua. So in the photography, how did you dive in? Like, how did you learn? What was the growth like?
All right. So in the beginning, of course, with any art that will bring value to you, it's not easy. You have to put in a lot of work, and of course, with any craft, it takes much more discipline for you to be able to learn and make it a habit. Become second nature to you. So I knew that from graphic design, because when I was learning how to use Photoshop, when I was learning how to use CorelDRAW and all these softwares, it was not easy. So getting into photography, I realized that I needed much more discipline, because this is something that I have never done before, and there is a gadget involved. There is a camera. I need to know how to use the camera. So I think I'm one of the few people who actually read the entire Canon manual. With even a marker. I highlighted a couple of things because I had no knowledge about it.
That's new to me, because reading the camera manual is something many people wouldn't do.
I did. I told myself that if I'm able to read this camera manual for the first time, I don't have to read it again. So
at least you have a complete idea.
And I am somebody who is, when it comes to work, I am somebody who wants to be in a position that I can say, I know how to do this, and I actually know how to do this because I can teach it. I don't want to be somebody who finds his way around things and then get ahead. No, I want to actually know what
and understand what we are doing.
That is who I am, and be able to even brag about it. So that is what I believed in. So I learned it. I learned the entire I learned the entire manual. Yes, and I
think it's very informative, when you go through the manual, because they show exactly,
especially when you are having your first camera. You need to understand know what is going on.
All the various parts.
There are a lot of jargons that I didn't understand in the beginning, but
the manuals are very detailed.
They are very detailed.
They want people to understand how the camera works and all of that.
So I did. And then YouTube University. I didn't have any coach. I didn't have any coach. I only have a friend. His name was Danso.
Okay.
He was
wait, is he the?
He's not my assistant. No.
Okay. A different Danso.
Danso,
because the
I actually have
videographer behind the camera, the producer,
my assistant.
Our on-set producer is is also Danso. Okay.
So this Danso helped me. He was a friend of he was a tutor of my kid brother. And Pope John. And he was into photography back then, but he had quit. So I sent a couple of pictures of mine to him, and then he would be like, "This is nice, this is not nice. You have to up your game, get a Wacom tab." So he was helping me. He was basically somebody, my second eye, kind of.
Guiding
me. So when I send a photograph to him, he would be like, "This is nice, this is not nice. This is nice." I just needed somebody that would be truthful and not, I couldn't show it to my family that much
Because
because
immediately
they will be like, oh, this
yeah,
is
you
nice.
needed
This is
someone
nice.
with a
Even
critic.
the local photographers are not shooting like this.
Yes,
So,
yes. So in your case, you learned on your own.
Yeah.
And in your own learnings,
Yeah.
YouTube University, watching
Yes.
tutorials, and also you got a mentor, someone who would.
Yes, I would say that he did much for me. It was not only him; it was Danso and Chris.
Okay.
So before I had a friend called Chris. He was also into graphic design, but
Okay.
and I think he was already into photography,
Okay.
but he was much more concentrated on the graphic design
Designs
aspect. So
okay.
I had these two people, but not to be like, not like us, we take apprenticeship here. It's more of let's share ideas.
Yes,
But with
okay.
the Danso, he was not with me. He was in Accra, and I sent him the photograph, and he'd be like,
And then he would critique and then
yes,
give you ideas.
But
of
honestly
how to
speaking,
improve
both
them.
of them played a serious key role in my upcoming.
Yeah,
They played a
which
role,
is really great.
Yeah, and
I think
appreciate them.
in all your story coming up, you've had supportive people surrounding you.
Yes, I have.
Helping you in different little ways.
Yes.
To ensure that you are self-correcting and then
Yes.
being on the right path.
Yes, and
I think that is really impressive. I mean, surrounding yourself and circling yourself with people who
Yes.
may not necessarily agree with what you are doing, but then they have ideas and are willing to support.
Exactly, and that is why to date I've been doing a lot of seminars. I've been coaching a lot of people. I've taught a lot of people photography here and also outside Koforidua, and I do it because initially when I started, I also had help from a couple of people.
That's your way of giving back.
And I think that it's important. It's important that in any craft that you are, you should lend hands to people, because what photography has done for me has actually changed my life and where I'm heading towards
now. I
now.
know it's changed your life because a la Star Boys, you are.
And where I'm heading towards now. And I want the same for a lot of young guys coming up. And whenever somebody tells me that he's into photography and he wants my help, honestly speaking, apart from me charging them, of course I have to charge. Now I run the business, so I have to charge them. And sometimes when you don't even charge them, they don't take the craft serious.
Yes.
But I don't charge them outrageous amount of money.
Yes.
I try as much as possible
way
to
for
charge
them
them
feel
to be able
committed.
to be committed and also know that what they are getting is into a serious business and can change their life. Yeah. So I'm a firm believer of helping people also get up. Yeah.
That's really exciting to hear, and I'm really glad. This is a part of you I didn't know of, and I think
which part, the learning,
the learning, the teaching,
of course,
the support from
bringing
family.
you on my to come and help these kids on entrepreneurship. What are you telling me that you didn't know that?
Anyway. Yes, about your supporting other people. Yes, I do know of that. But then, I mean, your inspiring story of your background and
I don't usually say. I don't usually tell people.
Anyway, so now in your photography, you're on top of your game. Koforidua here, because of you, I hardly get bookings because everybody.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Everybody is coming to Bkay, but then I'm sure you know of the whole AI growth and the whole in the photography industry.
Yeah.
Do you feel that the growth of AI is going to reduce your potential in getting clients? Do you use it in your work field, and what are some of your thoughts on it?
All right. So with respect to AI, I don't think we have any option. It's here to stay.
Yes.
And if you are smart as a business person, you adapt as soon as possible and you dominate.
Yes.
So if you are still considering on whether to use AI or not to use AI, to bring AI into your business, or whether it's important, and I think you are late.
Okay.
You should accept it, because if you accept it, then you can now learn about what AI can do for you, and you can use it to help you. AI is an assistant, is a robot assistant, and who will not want an assistant?
Yes.
You understand? You cannot do anything yourself.
Yeah.
AI can make you money. AI can get you out of business. It can get you into business.
Yes.
In respect of the knowledge you have about it.
Yeah.
So I think now is not the time for you to ask yourself whether to use AI or not to use it. People are way ahead of us.
Yeah.
You understand? There's a lot going on. You understand?
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. I would want to dive into that, but
Yeah,
if only time permits
so
us.
do you currently employ some parts of AI in your...
I do.
Okay.
I do. For example, usually I say AI is my secretary.
Okay.
If I'm making invoices, if I'm writing a letter, whatever I'm doing, ChatGPT is there to help me. Even if I need to generate a couple of samples for photo shoot or anything like that, AI is there to help me. So
you
basically,
you have it mixed with your workflow.
Yes, you have to. You have to have it. I cannot explain the importance of AI enough. I cannot stress the importance of AI enough in modern photography.
Yeah.
You understand? If you are, that is what I said in the beginning. If you are here and you are arguing with the fact that AI is important in your business, then you are late.
Then you are late to the party.
You were using Photoshop too.
Yes.
You were using healing brush.
Yes.
Getting rid of. What do you think is getting rid of those things for you?
Yeah, behind the scenes,
there is artificial intelligence. Just now, algorithm that. But it's just now publicly.
Yes.
It's publicly and it's branded.
Yes.
And it's saying that it's artificial intelligence. You were already using it. Were you getting rid of the blemishes on the faces? Were you doing all this frequency separation? We're doing that, bro. We were already using it. In the camera, we have an option when you are selecting. I think focusing.
Yeah.
We have AI servo.
Yes.
We have one shot, and then we have. Is it continuous shot?
Yes,
like that.
Yes. Different cameras have different names for it.
But I think the Canon, we have AI servo. So with the AI servo, when a subject is moving towards you,
you can keep track on the face and
what do you think does that?
They are all using this algorithm.
We were already into it.
Yes.
You understand? So if you are into photography or if you are into the visual business and then you are fighting against, what are you fighting against? I think you should embrace it
and then
as soon as possible. Learn, get your hands on all the material. I was part of the few people that started on Mid-Journey. Like quicker.
Yeah, I remember Mid-Journey. I used it a lot, and I think you're able to create. I remember trying it with even photography concepts, studio concepts.
Yes, because
how to light, how to.
You have to, else you get out of business.
Yes.
You understand? I kind of don't like the fact that some photographers are even thinking of AI is going to get us out of business and all that, bro.
I have this philosophical question. And you can explain it in how you understand it. It's about a photograph.
Okay.
When you take a picture, at which point does it become a different image? In the sense that, let's say I take a picture of myself right now.
Okay.
And I remove this chair.
Okay.
And I put it in such a way that I'm sitting on a yacht.
Okay.
Is it still real?
Okay. So, if you take a picture of yourself,
I'm sitting on this sofa, but then I use Photoshop to edit in the way that I'm sitting on a yacht.
Yeah.
Is this still real or it's fake?
Bro, you are not sitting on the couch. Why then we had photo manipulation.
Yes.
Back then we used photo manipulation.
How much does someone have to manipulate a photo for it to start entering into the fake realm?
I think there's a blur line there because the moment you start even taking away blemishes from a person's face, you have already edited.
Exactly.
So I think there is when you take a photograph, there are elements in the photograph that contributes to make a whole photograph. So, for example, if you are changing the sky is a major element in the photograph.
Yes.
That is obviously seen.
Yes.
So you have altered the photograph.
Yes.
If you are taking a dog out of the photograph,
yeah,
digitally you have altered the image.
Okay. Well, yes.
So I would say that they are, for example, if you are a nature photographer and you are taking a photograph of maybe a bird flying and the bird is in the air and probably there was a tree branch crossing them and you got the shot, but probably the foreground there was a tree that's crossing the subject, and then you take it out. At the end of the day, you bring it out as was how you shot it.
Yes.
We will accept it,
Yes.
but we know for a fact that there is a little Photoshop.
But that's the funny thing. Nobody was there when you took the picture, so
Yes.
nobody would even know.
So you see, as an artist, you have to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
That is where the inspiration comes from. When you are true to yourself, you get the better image. For example, if you take a photograph and it's not nice, it is not nice as an artist.
You would
Don't try
go
and
hunt for a better one instead of
don't
trying
try
to
and
manipulate it.
You know, when you look at it this way is
Yeah.
nice. No, as
Yeah.
an artist, you have to know your truth.
Yeah.
And that is what I believe in. And
Sure.
that is what has helped me to be able to get to this particular point that I am now. You have to be judgmental about your work.
Okay.
You have to be, when I'm scrolling online and I see a photograph and I don't like. I'm not going to be like, oh, it's an art, so probably the person is also trying to. I
Yeah.
respect that as an artist, that inspiration comes from different.
But
ways.
then a
To
picture
me,
not being nice is not nice.
It's
to
not
me.
nice to me
Yeah.
because I know where I'm heading towards, and this will not.
And I think I had a similar experience recently. I took a photo that I didn't like myself. The photo was not good, and I think I could have taken the shot in a better lighting angle and all
And
of
you
that.
know that.
I personally knew that.
Yeah.
But then I posted it in the group, and people were coming up with all sort of ways to massage the image to try to make it look good.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, the
This should-
fundamental image is even broken. Like
Yes.
it's not good. So
Yes.
what exactly are you
Yes,
people
and that
talking
is one thing that I teach my students is it does not matter if I was the one who took the shot.
Yeah.
If it's not nice, boss, this image is not nice.
Go and take a better one.
Yes.
In my case, that was the lesson I took.
Yes.
In the sense that if I'm to get in a scenario
Yes.
like that, I would know how to
Yes.
take the shot in a better way, not to repeat that mistake.
Exactly.
Rather than trying to use editing to
There is
fix.
this photography quote. I have forgotten the person who said it, that your first 10,000 images
Yeah.
are going to be your worst.
Yes, and usually it is, in the sense that you learn a lot from the
Yes,
first
10,000 images.
And 10,000 is a lot.
It's a
Which
lot of
means-
images.
Which
You
means you need to
understand?
get out there and then
And
start
shoot.
shooting.
And shoot.
Yeah, that's pretty
So
interesting.
AI is here to stay, and we should embrace it. And we should actually, as photographers, we should find a way to adapt it. And I follow a lot of guys who are into AI, who are trying to use this mid journey to create
Yeah.
story. You know, I'm into conceptual photography
Yes,
as well.
yes,
So
you have a lot of shots, and I think I would have to put some of them on the screen. You've been doing that.
Yeah.
I've seen a few of them, really enjoy them.
Thank you.
They are amazing.
Thank you. And when mid journey came out, I was like, bro, like, are they trying to take this conceptual away from me or what? But no.
Yeah.
I changed my perspective quickly, and I realized that I can actually generate a couple of shots, add them together, a couple of prompts, add them together, and then bring a masterpiece out there. And if I want it to be natural,
You can go out there and then
shoot
shoot
it.
it. Yeah.
You understand? So you cannot fight it. You cannot fight the wind.
Yeah.
It's now everywhere.
It's just a matter of embracing
Yes.
it. So in getting clients, what has been some of your challenges here in the Koforidua job market? Because Koforidua here is not like Accra,
Yeah.
so we don't always have it roses here in terms of clients. And this part is interesting to me also, because you're going to teach me how to take some clients from you.
The clients are everywhere.
So enlighten me. How do I get more clients from you?
All right. So with respect to
What has been some of your challenges? What has been your experience so far and all of that?
all right. So when it comes to clients, it's getting clients is business. It's strictly
Yeah.
business. So
And you already have a background in that.
business. And what I know for a fact is that the market wants value. You understand? So if you give them value, you will definitely get them. Because if you supply them with value, there's going to be demand and all that.
Yes.
And with photography, I'm now in a position where people don't book me because my pictures are nice. They book me because
They like you.
they can afford me.
Okay. They can afford you. Okay.
You understand? So I'm way past the point where he's a good photographer. No. They can book anybody else, but if they have more cash,
There
they
are
will call
plenty
me.
good photographers. So
Yes, but if they have cash, they can afford me, then they will book me.
because it's more of who they are booking and less of just looking for.
Yes, because when I take them the photograph and people see the logo on, they'll be like, "You booked Bkay?" Oh,
That's the reputation attached to it.
Exactly.
More like branding.
yes. So me getting clients now is kind of was not easy back then, but now I think
Yeah.
I have actually positioned myself.
And how was that positioning process like? What did you do to position yourself at a place where your branding is recognized
Yeah.
and people are willing to pay to have your brand on their images?
All right. Okay. So in the beginning, I basically let the clients know what I could do, or let the
Yes.
people know what I could do. I started with a conceptual. They didn't
Okay.
understand what I was doing, but I was trying to let them know I am a photographer, and I am creative, and I
Yeah.
am skillful.
Yes.
And I was sending them these photographs to their DMs for free. I
Oh,
was not
okay.
charging them anything. I was not doing any ad sales in the beginning. So you'll be there, and then I'll send you a concept that you can relate to. Instead of you going to the gallery to have a look at it, I will send you and you look at it and you're like, with a nice caption that explains the photograph. And then so they were sharing it. People actually sent me message, please add me to your broadcast list so that I can get to see your daily post and on. So I did that for almost 3 years.
Okay.
And now everybody understood that I am a creative photographer.
Yeah.
You understand? Good. So after that, and now, if they want a wedding photographer, they are like, if this guy can actually bring an idea
Into life.
to life like this, then my wedding is nothing difficult for him to cover.
Yeah.
So they understood that. And then I have to start even doing conceptual photography again. But there is a new thing that I'm trying to get into.
Yes.
So
you are 1,000, we know.
but basically that was the point.
Yeah.
I gave them value and for them to notice me, because the market was so saturated. So
Yeah.
I gave them value for them to notice me, and they realized that, okay, fine. All right, this guy is good. This
Yeah.
guy is good. And this guy, we will book this guy.
Sure.
And people kept on telling me, when I'm about to get married, I'll book you. And then I don't know
Yeah.
you, but I kind of
We
like
are
your
waiting
style.
for them.
Yes. And I got a lot of friends. I got a lot of my photographs going viral.
Yes,
Nigeria.
I think I've seen some of them seen by millions of
Yes.
people, and that's really impressive in
Thank you.
terms of being able to capture. I remember the one that they're playing. Is it the shooting game where the kid was
Yes.
hiding on the wall, and then
Nana.
it's been shared.
And once in a while, it will come up again and it will trend.
Yes, because it's like a yearly cycle.
Yes,
where
and people can actually relate to it.
Yeah.
So basically,
that's
that's
really
some
good.
of the things that made me stand out. I positioned myself, and people realized that I'm not doing what the competition is doing. I was doing my own thing, and it took them a while for them to understand that this is also art.
Who you are.
Yes, and this is who I am, and then they accepted that. So now
Yeah.
when they are speaking, they are like, oh, they are photographers, but Bkay is different. Bkay is different.
Yeah.
And that really helped me a lot.
That's the stage I need to reach.
Oh, you will. You are there already.
I would need to come for lessons behind closed doors so that you can teach me more. So if you have any advice for anyone starting photography today, what would it be?
Start now.
Yeah.
Don't be overwhelmed with the prices of the gadget, because it's only going to get higher. Of course, you don't make them. These materials that they use for these gadgets are expensive.
Yeah.
But if you start early, you can buy any gadget you want to buy.
Okay.
But if you are there and you are contemplating on the fact that this gadget is expensive, this is this, and I cannot do that, I'm not like Bkay, I'm not like KhoPhi,
Yeah.
then you are just wasting your time. Start now. If you are watching this conversation, if you are watching this podcast, don't even continue. Stand up and go and shoot. Go and shoot, because that is the only thing that is going to make you the better photographer that you want to be.
Yeah.
You understand? You can say, you know me, I don't leave my studio.
Yeah.
I only leave my studio when it's either I'm going home or I am going for a program.
Yeah.
After the program, I come back to the studio, work on the photographs. I've been doing this for a very long time. Like that. That is my in the simplest way, that is my life. So if I started way back and you want to become close to, or you want to become like me, or even become more than me, then you know what you have to do.
Yeah,
You have
put
to
in
do
the work.
extra
Yes.
work that I'm even doing. And look at me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop
now. So
You understand?
whoever wants to catch up will have to do.
You have to start as soon as possible.
Yes.
There are a lot of, of course, you are in the beginning, you are not going to get it easy. But now there's a lot of materials online that you can absorb as soon as possible, and then you will make your journey a little more easy.
Well, that's actually true.
Yeah.
Do you currently, what are the next steps for Bkay Photography here in Koforidua? Do you want to hijack all of us? Do you want to send us all out of business, or what is
that is no point. I actually want you guys in business so that they can notice me.
So what should we what
so
should
that
we
they can notice me.
That
is so cocky.
What should we look forward to from Bkay Photography or Bkay Studios? What are some of the projects you're working on that you can talk about? I know of your podcast, so I've been on your podcast already,
you have.
And I know of your DJ
party, the Bkay Studio.
Bkay Studios, yeah. So
basically,
walk us through some of your projects.
Initially, it was Bkay Photos,
and also your recent documentary.
It was Bkay Photos, but we are into. I've now expanded
into videography as well. So
yes, and the Bkay Studio. So now the photos is in the
studio part. Okay.
Yes, and we are doing documentary. We are doing a little bit of cinema. We are about to bring our first movie out.
Oh,
yeah.
I hope so. I get a role in it. I want to be like this guy. Is Stan Lee?
Okay.
Where he does a cameo in Marvel movies.
Don't worry.
I'll just be sitting, sipping my drink somewhere in the shop.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we are going into the movie space, and of course you mentioned the podcast as well.
Yeah.
So we are doing podcast. We are doing the movie. We are doing documentary that speaks on important
social
issues. We did one with disability people. Yeah. We did one with mental illness.
I remember the mental health one, and recently saw the disability one.
So basically, that is what we are trying to do. We are trying to use visuals to speak on important and present issues here, and I'm glad I am the one. I'm glad I'm part of it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like this thing should have been done earlier, but I know, there are certain things
that it's your time to bring these content out.
Yes. So and that is what we are doing.
So yeah, we'll definitely I don't know whether we put it on the screen or put it in the description, but then if people want to get to see the content you create, where do they find you online? How do they come across your content?
Bkay Studios and Bkay Photos.
Okay.
On all social media.
All social media.
Facebook, TikTok,
Instagram, YouTube. Okay.
Yeah.
The Bkay is BKAY. Okay. Studios, photos.
Yes.
They can find
Studios
all of
and
that.
photos.
Thank you very much, Bkay, for blessing us with your presence and then telling us about your story. It's been an exciting conversation with Bkay, and I'm glad he shared his inspiring story with us. Thank you for joining us in this one. I'll hand over to my friend Aura to do the concluding part, but then we'll definitely come back and then have a chit chat someday in the near future about the progress of photography.
We will be very happy.
Yeah.
To have you.
Thank you, and thanks for joining us. To all the viewers, thank you for joining us, and we hope to talk to you in the next one. Bye.